Hi. Today, I wanted to make a video about something that I seen on Facebook. It was trending yesterday, and it continued trending onto this morning. So lots of people are talking about it and are continuing to talk about it. So I figured I'd share a video and give my opinion like everybody else seems to be doing. It's about this show called Good Luck Charlie. And in this show, it's your basic dysfunctional family, gets put into crazy situations, all the crap we've been eating up the past couple years, just with different colors. Um, and in this show, on their final episode of the series, they decided to put in a same-sex couple. I'm sorry, it's flu season. Um, and the same-sex couple, they had a child, and him and Charlie were supposed to play or something along those lines. Don't take my word for it, I didn't watch the episode. But somehow they worked their way into the storyline, and everybody is so upset about it. And I don't get it. I mean, I get it, a little bit get it, but not really. You know, people have to understand that the world is changing, and whether you accept it or not, it's gonna change. And that is like the backbone of all I'm about to say right now. So, people have been throwing around all kinds of things this morning about people going to hell, what's wrong, what's right, how a kid should be treated, how a kid should have a mother and a father, how a kid is fine being with a same-sex couple. Everybody's just yelling at each other and trying to talk louder than one another, and nobody's getting anywhere because we're all just throwing our words with hate instead of sitting down and, let's talk it out. And I tried to do that this morning with my father, who we did talk about it a little bit, and he brought up the first subject I'm going to touch on, and that's he thinks that gays are trying to brainwash kids, which cracks me up because why would I want your kid to go through what you put me through? Why would I want him to be judged for no reason by people that don't even know him? Why would I want him to walk into a church, a place that he's supposed to be accepted and loved and told that everything's going to be okay and that God loves him no matter what, and Jesus is always there for you no matter how badly you screw up? He will always be there for you. And he'll walk in there and people just be like, oh, you're gay? Get out. We don't accept you. Even though that's what our whole faith is about. We don't accept you. God doesn't love you. Even though that's what our whole faith is about, is that God loves you. He doesn't love you. Do you understand what that does to somebody? Do you understand what you just did to that person? Why would I want your kid to go through that? I'm not a heartless bastard. No matter what your personal prejudice against a gay person may be, we don't hate kids. We don't want kids to go through all this crap that we're going through. We're fighting so that if a kid is gay and he can come out and not go through what we went through. That's the whole point of what we're doing. I don't get it. People are just so quick to jump down throats and so quick to not see the whole picture. I don't. Anyways. And then another thing that's been thrown around this morning, like I said, was heaven and hell, right and wrong, being gay is a sin, and all that crap. I've looked through every verse that was ever thrown at me by a pastor. In all of them, besides the one in the Old Testament, which no longer applies, because it's the Old Testament. We are in the New Testament now through Jesus Christ. That is why he came here. That is why he died on this for me. So that all the old crap doesn't matter anymore. The Old Testament is old. It is a record. It is a history book. Because if everything in the Old Testament still mattered, we'd have to sacrifice a lamb every time I sinned. Every time I sinned, I would have to sacrifice something to God. That's the whole point of Jesus. He was the ultimate sacrifice. Cut him up into a million pieces, they did. And every cut was for a sin that you're going to make. Because nobody's perfect. Nobody's supposed to be perfect. To try to be perfect is ignorant. It's stupid. The whole reason Jesus came was because we aren't perfect. And he was so that we don't have to be. And people just preach that so wrong. And just drive all these gay people, us, away from God. I can't even tell you how many people I try to preach to and try to tell them that God loves you no matter what. I swear, I promise you that He loves you no matter what. He is okay with you being gay. It was Adam and Eve. It was Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Well, the world needed to be populated when it had nobody on it, and now here we are on the brink of extinction and overpopulation. Why wouldn't there be more gays? Why wouldn't people be being born gay? To reduce the number of people that are coming on this earth and to save the resources so that we may live out a little longer. You know? God knows what He's doing. He always does. People, it's all about just loving your neighbor. When you see somebody with a kid in a mall and they're yelling at that kid, going in on this kid, and you're like, I would never, ever do that to my child. They're a bad parent because they're doing that to their child. But you don't go over there and say that to them, do you? Because that's their kid. It's their responsibility. Everything to do with them. That's their child. You have no say in that matter. Same thing applies to your life. That's his life. Her life. Her choices, his choices. It'll be okay because they don't affect you. If they do, that's a different story. You can't just look at somebody off the street with a million tattoos or piercings and think that they're a bad person because you don't know that person. And that's his life. He got all those piercings because he wanted to. And who are you to say that it's wrong or right because it's not your life? It's not an issue for you. Same thing applies to being gay. Whether you believe it's wrong or right, it's none of your business. Do what Jesus said. Let Him judge everybody. You just love them. You don't do that when you're going on Facebook telling everybody they're going to hell. You don't do that when you turn people away from your church. You don't do that when you look at a gay person straight in the eye like they're a bad person and tell them they're going to hell just for loving somebody. That's the complete opposite of what Jesus wanted for us. It's like, it's so messed up that everybody's just thinking they're doing the right thing, but in reality, they're just driving wedges and keeping everybody separated and making everybody scared to love God. You don't have to be perfect to love God. You don't. You don't have to be perfect to have a relationship with Him. You don't. I promise. I'm not perfect. I'm not. I never will be. I never try to be. I try to be the best person that I can be every morning when I wake up. That's as much as you can do. Because I'm not even promised the next 5 minutes. In the next 5 minutes, a tree could fall on me right now and kill me. And if that happened, would I have been the best person that I could have been? Or would I have been a judgmental asshole? I don't get why people do it. It hurts my feelings. I'm a dude just like you. In my entire life, I've never loved a woman. I've never lusted after a woman. I never even looked at a woman. When I walk in a room, all I see is the guys. It's been that way since I can remember. I didn't have a choice in the matter. Sometimes I got really close to girls and I thought about it. Like, what if I could date her? But it didn't happen. Because it wouldn't happen. Because every time I even got close to that, I kind of got grossed out. And I've never had sex with a woman either. That kind of grosses me out too. So if you're going to sit here and tell me what I'm doing is wrong and unnatural, when it's the only thing I've ever known and it's completely natural to me and everything I've ever felt, well then I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say to you. I don't. You yelling at me and telling me that I'm going to hell and I'm doing something wrong with my life, that's not going to make me love a woman. It's not. You can sit here and tell me up and down that what I'm doing is wrong, and it's not going to change me at all. So, I figured I would just make a video about it and let everybody know how I felt about it. Because, like I said, this would have took way too long to type. So, all I can say and leave you with is you need to love, live, and let live. Live your life the best way possible. Try to make everyone around you have the best experience on this earth possible. We're only here for a short time. I think everyone who's my age now is starting to realize how fast the days go by and how short our life actually really is. Why would you spend all your time here, the very little time that you have, filled with such hate and anger and prejudice and judgment and all the things that make you feel gross inside and make you feel angry and mad? And why? Just let go and let God. Let Him worry about it. If it's wrong, if it really is wrong, let Him worry about it. It's not your call to make. But I just want to leave that for you guys. Have a blessed day, alright? Make somebody smile today. Give a hug.